Good day, my name is Brock McNaughton, and welcome to the American Public University System Senior Seminar. Today I'll be giving you a critical review of a Sand County Almanac by Aldo Leopold. Today we're going to cover a little bit about the book, the history that surrounded the book itself, the author, the message within the book, how it was received, how it is viewed in present time, and how it is a seminal work in environmental science. And we'll finish off with my references. So about the book. The book was actually written posthumously, and it was compiled by friends and family, and mostly all of the action was taken up by Luna Leopold to get this published and out there to the public. And it finally made it to the shelves in 1949, and was later on translated into 12 different languages. This kind of shows just how epic this book is in terms of the environmental science field, and a little more about the book and the writing fashion that Aldo Leopold used. So he wrote this in a very poetic fashion, breaking down, I would say, almost in a way that John Muir would when talking about squirrels, for instance. So he would go and take you through the life or the day of a squirrel, and he would break it down to an ecological level and explain things to where they make sense. And he does this throughout the entire book, and he's never ominous about the human impact. Instead, he's very hopeful, and we'll get to that later when we talk about the land ethic. So let's move on to the history. So this book was started in 1937 and didn't really get to be finished, but it was finished writing in 1948, later compiled and published. But during the writing, there was a ton of history going on. So we had the Great Depression, World War II, the early consumerism era, and the early environmental movements. All of these things, I'm sure, were on Aldo Leopold's mind, but they didn't actually make it into the book. There's no direct references to any of these, except for the early environmental movement, and that's, again, where the land ethic comes in. Moving on to the author, so Aldo Leopold is pictured up at the top of the screen. He was born in 1887 and raised in Burlington, Iowa. And this is where his childhood interests in the natural world began. These were also propagated by his own adventuring in the local area, his father, Carl Leopold, and even family summer camping trips to islands on the north end of Lake Huron. After his youth and after high school, he began searching for college, and he decided to attend the new Yale Forestry School, and directly afterward, he began working with the Forestry Service. He later on took a role at the University of Wisconsin. Don't quote me here, I think it was the head of wildlife management. And then he passed away in 1948 after fighting a neighbor's wildfire. So getting to the book and the message within the book, we see a lot of Leopold's upbringing within the book itself, but I wouldn't necessarily discern this as the message. I would rather say the whole message in the book comes at the end, is the land ethic. And this is where I basically say treat the land as if it is an extension of you. And this is essentially what the land ethic is saying. It wants us to not think of us as separate from the land, but think of ourselves as included within the land and start treating it with dignity and respect. So initial reception, I wouldn't say that people were snagging the books off the shelves right away when a Sand County Almanac came out. And as an author states here, Minding Nature, after selling modestly in its early editions, the Sand County Almanac became influential with the rise of the modern environmental movement, which kind of brings us to the current viewpoints. This book is renowned for its introduction to the land ethic and bioethics itself, Even in my environmental ethics class, this book was mentioned almost weekly. And the book was definitely ingrained within many environmentalists. There's actually an entire book by Richard Knight that has different environmental professionals that decided to write about their reflections from a Sand County Almanac and how it actually impacted them and their careers and their futures. So for being a seminal work in environmental science, I wouldn't only say because it's akin to writings from Thoreau and Murr, but also the book speaks on an ecological level. I mean, the author was referred to as the father of ecology. But the book, besides speaking on that level, it also offers a way forward to environmentalists and also the general public. So it gives us a stepping off point to kind of do our own part, and that's why I believe it is a seminal work. These are all the topics we covered today. I would like to thank you for giving me this brief time to discuss the Sand County Almanac, and my references are next. And if you have any questions, that would be all. Thank you.